Fans of Manifest have been on a roller coaster of emotions lately. When the popular series was canceled by NBC and then saved by Netflix, in honor of the fourth and last season, we've compiled a list of must-known Manifest theories that will astound any fan. Stick around to find out some of the craziest Season 4 fan theories that could change everything. Zeke and Michaela's future in the show. One theory concerns Michaela, Melissa Roxburgh, and Zeke, Matt Long, and their relationship's future. We need to talk, Zeke adds, and it's clear what's going to happen next. Many anticipate Michaela and Jared will split up in the next episode so she can sort out her feelings for him, J.R. Ramirez. Of course, they could find each other again, but fans of Michaela and Zeke should be prepared for the worst. Angelina will be extremely dangerous, even more than the Major. This next theory is wild but could possibly be true. Angelina is in fact more dangerous than the Major. She was the first portrayed as a hapless victim in need of rescue, before being welcomed into a loving household with a lovely child who took a special interest in her. But things took a turn for the worst when she began obsessing over Eden and referring to her as a guardian angel. She not only came dangerously close to killing the infant by setting fire to the house, but also she kidnapped the baby and murdered Grace in the process. Let's rewind for a minute. You may have observed that when Angelina lit the fire in front of Eden, she looked to have fire wings, giving her a devilish appearance. Her infatuation with Eden, on the other hand, could be a reference to the clever serpent from the biblical Garden of Eden story. Angelina's tiny gesture of handing up a religious pamphlet prompted a false prophet to deceive hundreds of people and lead them astray, much the way the serpent led Adam and Eve astray. And when Angelina kills Eden's mother in Season 3, perhaps it wasn't simply the death of Grace, but also the death of God's blessing and favor. It appears that all of these clues are pointing to one theory, that Angelina is in fact a messenger of Satan. The reality changes based on the 828ers. In the first 3 seasons of Manifest taught us anything, it's that the Callings don't like to be ignored. Perhaps it's because they're assisting the 828ers in shaping their reality, which shifts with everything they do, as some fans assume. Whatever caused the passengers to vanish, let's name it the Divine for now, is actively altering reality based on what the passengers do, one Redditor speculated. As the passengers answer to the calls, the world in which they find themselves shifts in response to their actions. When passengers make mistakes that enrage the Divine, their reality gets closer to the one in which they perished, the article claims. This explanation explains why the tail fin reappears in the water after Sanvi, Perveen Kaur, kills the Major, according to admirers, Elizabeth Marvel. As the lifeboat commits to more closely following the Callings, reality shifts to the version where the passengers lived, eventually restoring Cal, Jack Messina, to his proper age. When looking at the show as a whole, this theory does not account for everything, and there are a few gaps. This explanation, for example, does not explain the reappearance of Noah's Ark, or how or why the passengers were given the Callings in the first place. Then there's the matter of Captain Daly's other identity. However, if this idea is correct, Season 4 will have higher stakes due to more passenger deaths and dramatic reality shifts, making for an exciting trip. Michaela's connection to the Major. The Major, Elizabeth Marvel, could be Michaela's older self visiting from the future, according to Reddit. This stunning notion is backed up by 2 major pieces of evidence. First and foremost, Michaela and the Major are equally fascinated by the passengers' forebodings or callings. Second, the characters' accessories are nearly identical. Both characters wear necklaces with a pendant on a delicate chain. As Looper points out, if there's one thing we've learned from previous seasons, it's that every detail does count. The necklace Grace is wearing hints towards the 828ers surviving their death date. In Season 3, Sanvi, a medical researcher who was also on board Flight 828, makes a scientific discovery when she uncovers a sapphire compound on every single subject who returns, leading her and Dr. Gupta speculating that sapphire could be the cause of people's disappearance and reappearance. Sapphire is known to attract heavily blessings, so I decided this couldn't be a coincidence when I discovered the same stone in Grace's favorite necklace. Cal and his family, as well as the other 828ers, were wearing it when she died, which could indicate that there is still a chance for them to seek out the truth behind these callings and live past their death dates. Everything is actually actually a dream? Let's take it one step further and consider whether everything is just a dream. This would imply that everything is a dream and the passengers are dreaming about what would have happened if the plane hadn't vanished, as in Lost. Perhaps the story is being concocted by a character who did not vanish but is determined to find an explanation for the flight's disappearance. Older Cal is Grace's hallucination. During the Manifest Season 3 finale episode, there's a lot of bizarre action. However, the most frightening scene occurs when Cal, who unexpectedly vanished after touching the tail fin, reappears in front of his dying mother, Grace. What's the real kicker? He has reached the age he would have reached had time flowed regularly for him. Fans have gone over this scenario with a fine-toothed comb in search of minutia and hints as to why or what his appearance symbolizes, but no consensus has emerged. However, many fans have said that the scenario appears to be more of a hallucination than an actual incident. There was an ethereal, almost unreal feel to that scene. One Reddit user observed, Cal arrived just as his mother was dying rather than arriving earlier to prevent Angelina from killing her. If this fan hypothesis is correct, it could be a red herring, implying that Cal hasn't aged at all. Cal could, however, be arriving from another reality or timeline only in time to console his mother during her final moments. We will find out that Captain Daly wasn't the person on the plane in the finale. Remember how Daly popped out of nowhere in the pilot's seat and in full uniform, terrified as hell? It's plausible that he time traveled from the day of the trip right as he was trying to go through the Black Lightning. Yes, he did hijack a plane and try to get to 2024, but this isn't the same Captain Daly given that Fiona isn't in the front seat and he is in uniform. This means that all of the missing passengers may have resurfaced in their original seats, totally covered by the cockpit divider, and vanished along with the pilot just as the tail fin did in the water. Now, this is just a theory, but many fans believe it could play out on the screen very soon. A government conspiracy? This theory is very interesting. According to some fans, the government is much more interested than it is letting on. What if the plane was part of a government study? Perhaps the government attempted time travel, but was unable to break the loop. They probably planned for glitches, but they underestimated how much it would affect the passengers. They're actually all dead, and the trails are a part of the afterlife. There is one fan theory in the Manifest universe that appears to have the most backing, both in the series and amongst the fans. Either the passengers died and are undergoing trials to determine their fate in the afterlife, or they were about to die but were given a temporary reprieve to decide their futures. In either case, how they respond to the summonings and whether they choose the light or the dark path could determine their eternal destiny. Zeke wonders if he's even alive in Cleared for Approach, Season 1, Episode 13, underlining, a person can't freeze to death in a cave and then stroll out alive a year later. Ben says ominously, I believe the plane is attempting to inform us that we perished on that flight, and now it's back as if it's been revived. And I believe we were as well. Corey echoes this opinion in Deadhead, Season 3, Episode 2. Pete, his brother, responds by asking whether they've been given another chance. If this is the case, Season 4 may provide a glimpse inside the mysterious place. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Manifest Season 4 and some of the craziest theories out there today. Manifest Season 4 is set to be epic and will hopefully answer a lot of unanswered questions and crazy cliffhangers from the last season. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Which fan theory we mentioned do you think is the most possible? Which one do you believe is way too far-fetched? Let us know in the comments. But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.